Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we've got an episode of Loadout, the series where you guys, the viewers, get to pick a gun and customization for me to use. The way you do this is you leave a comment down below letting me know what kind of weapon and accessories you'd like me to run with, and I will pick one of the top rated comments for the next episode. Now I was all prepared to do an episode of Loadout, but we had to skip one last week, and basically I didn't get any Hardline themed comments from you guys for the next episode. So unfortunately I had to basically just pick a loadout that I thought would be really cool to show to you guys. Now I didn't really come up with a name for this loadout. You could call it the gassy shotgun, enforcer gas shotgun, whatever you want to call it. It's basically the enforcer class. We're going to be using a gas mask, gas grenades, and the 870 shotgun with a riot shield on our backs. The riot shield basically acts as armor for our backside in case somebody sneaks up behind us. It gives us a little bit more protection and survivability in CQB combat. We are using the 870p Magnum shotgun, and eventually you'll want to unlock the full choke for this gun to give you better kill ability at further ranges. This gun is amazing. The one-shot kill potential with it is just crazy, and shotguns are basically back to their old selves. People are saying it's overpowered. I would say it's more in line with the way shotguns were in BF3. I think we all just kind of got used to shotguns sucking so much in BF4. They're now back to being good. And the fact that we have a lot of CQB maps means that shotguns are going to be much more viable. You'll notice that my screen has a little bit of a yellow tint to it. That's because I'm wearing the gas mask, and that's the effect it has. It protects me from my own gas grenade damage and blurring my vision. It also protects me from enemy gas grenades. So it's really nice, especially when enemies throw a gas grenade into a room that you're hiding in. They think it's all clear because they're not getting any hit markers. Then they run in and you just waste them with the shotgun. Gas grenades are incredibly useful on heist game modes or just CQB style game modes where there's going to be a lot of close quarter infantry combat and you want to clear out some rooms. Obviously the ultimate defense against the gas grenade is just wearing a gas mask yourself, but you do have to give up one of your gadget slots. A lot of people are simply not willing to give up a gadget slot for the gas mask. They'll just simply try and avoid gas grenades, which is not a bad strategy, but if you have gas grenades and you're going up against a lot of people without gas masks, you have an amazing advantage against them. One thing I really like about them is that they're not as visible as, say, incendiary grenades. So rather than trying to block off a hallway, it's more of a way to lure people into them or clear out a room. I'll often just use them as a way to notify me if somebody's nearby. I'll throw one down at a doorway or at the end of a hallway. People usually walk into the gas cloud before they notice it's there, and that basically gives me a hit marker on my screen, lets me know that somebody's over there. Then I can pop out and waste them with the shotgun real quick. Quick peeking and cornering is going to be essential with this class. You want speed and you also want the element of surprise. Luckily, the reputation upgrades you get with the Enforcer class really aid to this style of gameplay. The first thing you can get is fast throw. Chuck those smoke grenades incredibly fast. You don't have to get caught mid-throw animation. Then there's fast ready, allows you to aim down sight faster after running. Then there's fast aim, which just improves the speed at which you can aim in general. You are going to want to ADS with the shotgun whenever possible. Hipfire is somewhat reliable, but ADS is more reliable. And although you probably won't hit tier 4 reputation very often, you can always increase your suppression effect when shooting at people. This is just basically a screw with the enemy class and then waste them with the shotgun. Now you really only want to play this on heist game mode, and even then heist game modes that cater to close quarter gameplay. The bank vault map is perfect for this, and I think a lot of people are more annoyed with shotguns right now because everybody's playing heist on bank job. If we're playing heist on other maps that were a little bit more wide open, you wouldn't see as many people complaining because the long range effects of this shotgun are not quite as good as what people seem to be thinking they are. I've been using the 870 quite a bit. It's an excellent weapon, but it's excellent for close quarters, which is what it should be. You'll even notice that when heist game modes gets out to the streets and the longer distance situations, you're going to have to hit people a lot more to take them down, and you're going to be less effective, and you're going to have to choose your engagement points rather than just trying to hold people off in long range street firefights. You're going to have to get inside, go around, try and flank your opponents and get closer. This often gets you killed, so it's not really as ideal even in bank job as soon as you get to those longer range situations. Now if you can upgrade this class enough, you'll eventually get the Bald Eagle as a sidearm, which is just one hell of a beast of a gun. It does 68 damage maximum and has a 220 round per minute rate of fire. This is incredibly good for a pistol, and it gives you a nice option for one-shot headshotting people at a pretty decent range from you. It's certainly not going to be your long range weapon, but it's a nice sidearm to have, especially for a class that's just just excellent at one-shot killing people. Now, as far as optics go, you should be just fine with iron sights on the 870. As long as you're using buckshot, it shouldn't really matter too much. If you decide to use slug rounds, you might want to consider using a red dot sight, but I have to say slug rounds have been really underwhelming. You'll see me using them here a little bit, but as soon as we get out to further ranges, I actually found slug rounds to be a little bit less effective than buckshot. They just weren't doing enough damage, and they were harder to aim and sort of deal with the slow travel velocity of them. So maybe slug rounds will get a little bit of an upgrade. I'm not really too concerned about them right now. I'm just happy as long as my buckshot shotgun is doing well. Now, when you get the fast throw upgrade, you're going to want to be careful with that because it throws grenades so quickly that sometimes you don't have time to move around the piece of cover before you chuck the grenade. So it can take a little while getting used to it, and you're going to have to try and give yourself a mental reminder every time you get that unlock. As for your melee weapon, I thought it would be really cool to get the sledgehammer to bust down doors. If that's your style, then by all means run with it, but I ended up preferring sort of like a baseball bat billy club type setup. This is a very fast-paced class, and I just couldn't wait for the sledgehammer wind-up to break glass and let me move around, so I just had to go with a faster melee weapon. Now, one shotgun attachment that I was thinking about using, but I've decided against it, was the tack light. I was thinking, you know what, shotgun, close quarter, tack light, blind people. However, if you've thrown a smoke grenade and blinded somebody with it, when you activate that tack light, it gives them an easier target to aim at. If their vision is already blurry, then it's going to be harder for them to figure out where you are and aim directly at you. But as soon as they see that tack light with their blurry vision, they're going to know exactly what to shoot at. So I decided against it, really, and I just kind of kept the 870 stock. And the same goes for the laser sight. Just no more visual aids for the enemy to figure out where you are. And I just love flanking with this class. This map has a lot of flanking options. If you're smart about the way you play, you don't always have to fight people head on or long range. You can always move around behind people, get in close quarters, and just take them out with one shot. And it's also possible to suppress people at longer range with gas grenades. You chuck at long range, they sort of take cover or go behind a plant pot, and you can use that time to try and move up in close quarters. I found this somewhat effective, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'd rather just sneak up on people than trying to use the gas grenade as a form of cover to move in closer. Now, sometimes this setup was so effective we ended up pushing the enemy all the way back to their spawns. Now, some people were complaining about spawn camping in this game, and I think the spawns have actually been designed pretty intelligently, to the point where if you don't want to get spawn camped, there's actually alternate routes to get out of your spawn that make a lot more sense. If you're worried about a shotgun user in close quarters, then don't take the middle spawn route. It's basically going over a little fence into mayhem, close quarter mayhem. Take the outside route. You'll have much longer range engagements and probably a better time getting out of your spawn. I think once people learn this map a little bit better, there's going to be less instances of spawn camping. Anyway, that wraps it up for this episode of Loadout. Don't forget to leave your comments down below for next week's episode. They will have to be Battlefield 4 Loadout comments since the beta is ending today. And if you haven't already, get into the beta, check it out, try out this class, and let me know what you think. As always, guys, I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.